America. Wow. WOW. This is, as always, here. This is the Richard Fowler Show. As always, we're here to inform you, to empower you, and help you get your voice back. Tonight's show, no different. But it's been crazy. But let's get to news by the numbers. Let's not waste any time. It's time for your news by the numbers. There's no talking.
You're just not addressing the elephant in the room?
I was gonna do the lead in, and then I was gonna address the elephant. Can I do the lead in? It's now time for your news by the numbers. There's no talking points. There's no talking heads. There's no smoking guns. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight it is you and I and the raw numbers. And tonight's number is 45. And that number represents the number of the next president of the United States, Donald John Trump. Yes, indeed, America, it is true. Donald Trump is the president.
Yeah, so we've actually dedicated the entire show to this event because it is so shocking.
It's earth-shattering.
Despite Richard's lack of interest, perhaps, or
I wouldn't say lack of interest.
He's been on TV talking about it too much, but it's actually a huge
I wouldn't
deal.
say lack of interest. I mean, I think it's an interesting development.
Interesting development.
Well, I mean, oh God. So yeah,
when the Nazis elected Hitler for the first time, did they call it an interesting development?
All right, let's just stop for a moment, because let's be very clear. I think there's a lot of progressives and liberals who are very upset. Rich being one of them. I'm upset about this, right? But what we don't want is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When people go around saying, "Oh, he's a Nazi," I mean, come on. He's not a Nazi. He's crazy.
Here's the biggest problem.
Not Nazi.
Between the president with the nuclear briefcase saying it's go time, 4 minutes elapsed before the nukes fire. No checks and balances, no one saying, hey, maybe that's not a good idea. If Donald Trump wakes up one day, let's say another 9/11 happens.
Okay, but
Donald Trump's in the White House, and he says, go.
But wait a minute. I hear that, right? I hear the argument that you're making. But, and I'm not giving, this is crazy. Democrats, and I know we're going to talk about Democrats in a minute, but no matter what happens, the American people elected this dude, right? And I know progressives are going to get mad at me, but we got mad at conservatives when they attacked the legitimacy of Barack Obama, of President of the United States. Donald Trump rightfully won the presidency of the United States. And so I think to some extent, I mean, don't get me wrong, we have a divided country and he has a lot of work that he's going to have to do to bring this country together. But he is the president of the United States. Do I think he's going to launch a nuke? No.
No. I'm just saying this is someone who actually had to ask one of his advisors, why do we not use our nukes?
I get that. I'm not saying he's I didn't vote for the guy.
I'm just saying I would feel 100% safe sleeping in my bed with Mitt Romney as president, with Jeb Bush as president, with Ted Cruz as president, because I know that they wouldn't say, it's time to go.
I would not feel comfortable in my bed if Ted Cruz was president of the United States.
I would not be worried about
there'd be a lynch mob
nuclear
in front of my house because I happen to be a gay person.
I'm just saying. Well, I mean, if you're going to make that argument, if you're a Hispanic person, then certainly Donald Trump's not a good candidate.
Don't get me wrong. I get all of that, but I mean, I think for progressives, we have to sit here for a minute, and we could sit here, we could continue throwing stones, but we did that for 18 months, and we lost. Everything you're saying is what Hillary Clinton said, and it didn't work. He's temperamentally unfit. He's crazy.
Well, why wouldn't I still keep saying it? It's still true.
It's not. Whether it's true or it's not, it doesn't resonate with the voter.
I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm not trying to convince anyone to not vote for him. I'm just saying this is why it's terrible.
And we could talk. I want to share this conversation just a little bit before we talk about this. Why do you think Donald Trump won this election?
Why do I think Donald Trump won this election? Because 51% of America thought he would be a good candidate.
Well, I would argue that Hillary Clinton is going to win the popular. Hillary Clinton will win the popular. Has won the popular.
Oh, she has actually. So in the Electoral College, here's the thing: the vast majority of Americans using the Electoral College system resonated with his values and the things that he said would change about the country. Personally, I'm okay with that. I mean, listen, we live in Washington, D.C. Every single person I know has been absolutely disgusted by it and disturbed. But the United States is a big, big country. And
here's the thing. And I think the mistake that people make is, one, we can't solve all our problems in Washington. We can't. But people went out yesterday and they looked at the polls and they said, I don't like either one of these candidates. I don't like her. I don't like him. But Donald Trump clearly seems to be a man of his convictions, right? We ran a flawed candidate. He was a man of his conviction, and he outperformed his numbers. He got 12% of the black vote, 29% of the Latino vote.
Which is incredibly disturbing. Like, how does that even happen?
Because clearly his message resonated with them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the thing.
And that means that instead of sitting here, and I mean, we could throw as many, listen, to the victor goes the spoils. Bravo, Donald Trump. Bravo.
I mean, he won. I'm not saying
but
he didn't win.
What we need to do is, instead of focusing on like, oh, he's crazy, is figure out how the hell do we beat him in 4 years? And how do we grow a movement to encompass the 12% of blacks that voted for him and the 29% of Latinos that voted for him? And calling him crazy doesn't do that. All that does is it makes these people double down on their crazy ideology. We need to, as the progressive movement and as liberals or whatever the hell you want to call yourselves, got to go and we got to have conversations with these individuals. And I'm sorry, America, and I want to say this to you because you guys know I do believe in labor unions, and I do believe labor unions are one of the foundations of the Democratic Party and of the progressive movement. In Ohio, Donald Trump won 50% of labor households.
50?
Yes, 50%.
That's good. Are they aware of what he thinks about labor unions?
Well, it depends on who he does like Jimmy Hoffa, so he says. And it's a quote from him. Jimmy Hoffa should be returned to his rightful place. But he might not like labor unions, but the message, he was using the same messaging as labor unions. We've said on this show numbers of segments, and we have condemned all the trade deals that both Democrats and Republican elites thought were okay. The Democratic elites and Republican elites in the early 90s said we are going to push forward trade deals knowing good and well these trade deals are going to hurt American families, they're going to hurt American workers, and they're going to hurt America's infrastructure. We did that, right? Hillary Clinton did that. I love Barack Obama. Barack Obama was part of that. Bill Clinton did that. So did others. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's others who are definitely involved. Newt Gingrich was involved in this same situation. HW was involved. So we can't sit here and condemn Donald Trump for being a party or a movement without a conviction. Hillary Clinton was wishy-washy on trade, and let's be real about this. I think before we sit here and we talk about how awful he is, what can we learn? You can learn from a crackhead. You can learn a valuable thing. And what can we learn from Donald Trump? What about his message worked, and what can we use to adapt that as we go into the midterms in 2018 and redistricting and a presidential election in 2020?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you gotta, here's the deal. Hillary Clinton, you know exactly what you're getting. It's gonna be 4 more years of Barack Obama.
No,
right?
See that, but that's part of the problem. I don't think voters knew. No, I don't think voters knew that.
Well, I'm telling you that the voters that were the deciders were not interested in that.
But no.
They wanted an outsider who wasn't part of the political establishment.
No. I want to push back on that. I wish we had a little CNN magical map back here. But you go into a place like Michigan and Macomb County, which Macomb County borders Wayne County, which where Detroit is. Barack Obama overwhelmingly won that county in 2004, in 2008 and 12. John Kerry won Macomb County in 2004. You cannot blame. These voters weren't repudiating Barack Obama. Barack Obama has almost a 61% approval rating. They were repudiating the fact that we had a flawed candidate that people were unsure about. She went out there and she said she's going to regulate Wall Street, while at the same time she gave a $600,000 speech to Wall Street. And so you can't get mad at the voter for voting against our flawed candidate.